Hey everybody, Grimble here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reacting to Solo Leveling Episode 5. So last episode was a good one. We saw Jinwoo enter an instance dungeon, and he really started testing out this new system that has been given to him, this video game system that allows him to level up and put points into different stats like agility, stamina, health, strength, all that stuff. And he seems to be favoring strength at this point, which I think might be a bit of a mistake, but so far it's worked out for him. So while in this instance dungeon, he starts off fighting some goblins, has a bit of trouble with them, eventually overcomes them, then a wolf, and then finally, as he starts getting stronger and stronger throughout the dungeon because he's defeating more and more monsters, gaining more experience, and leveling up fairly quickly, he ends up fighting this big snake-like boss at the end. And this thing is a doozy. It has some really tough, hardened scales. It's flying all over the place. It's really quick, really fast. It destroys the sword that he's been using this entire time. And it seems like Jinwoo was about to just bite it. But he built up the resolve and the will and decided he's not going down yet. Remembered the fact that he had built all these points up into strength and grabbed the snake's neck and literally crushed it to death with his bare hands. So it was really cool to see. Interesting way to take down the boss. I wasn't expecting that. But he also got some cool loot out of it. He ended up getting this little dagger that seems to have a poisonous DOT effect, damage over time effect, that drains the health of whoever he strikes it with and also has a chance to cause paralysis, it looks like. So a very handy weapon for him to have. And then meanwhile, out in the city, there happened to have been a dungeon break, which is essentially when nobody is able to defeat a dungeon boss in time, and all the monsters in that dungeon end up coming out into the real world and wreaking havoc among all the people. And we also see Ju-hee, who has been really out of it. She has been going through therapy apparently after what happened in that double dungeon, and she's just a mess. She's not certain she wants to be a hunter anymore, it seems like. She just sits in her dark room, just very scared and afraid, which is understandable, quite frankly, considering what she went through. A lot of people would have to go through therapy after something like that. But she does get a call basically asking for her help with this dungeon break. And they state that there's a real shortage of healers right now, and she's kind of all they have. So reluctantly, she goes and decides to help this small group of low-class hunters. I think it was a couple Ds and even some Es, just like Jinwoo, trying to fight this big golem boss. And they're having a difficult time of it. He's got this big, awesome barrier, not able to penetrate it. Things don't look very good for them in general. Eventually, though, Jinwoo makes it out of this instance dungeon and finds out about this dungeon break, makes his way over there with this little broken dagger that he was using to fight the snake, and looks at the golem and decides, maybe I can help out by just tossing this at him as hard as I can to see what kind of damage it can do. So it was his way of testing out the sort of strength that he might have at this point. He tosses it and just shatters that golem's defenses in one hit, allowing the rest of the group to take it down. But he doesn't stick around for praises or glory or any of that. He takes off, and the group remaining is really confused as to what happened and who could have taken it down that easily. Now, Jinwoo still seems to be a little unsure about his own power level and strength, because he credits the fact that he was able to take down those shields so easily with that group probably did enough damage to make it easier for him to do so. But in reality, it was probably just all him 100%. It didn't seem like those guys were doing anything to that golem's defenses at all. And he did it in one hit, shattered them. So it'll be fun to see going forward in this next episode how this power of his evolves and what he does next to try to continue to level up and increase his power. The other thing I'm interested to look out for is it really seems like his motivations are shifting from wanting to just help out his family and do the best he can for them to wanting power, and it seems to be maybe even corrupting him a little bit. He's getting really, really into the fact that he's getting stronger. So with that being said, let's hop right into Solo Leveling Episode 5. If you guys are interested in signing up to my Patreon, you'll be able to take advantage of ad-free content, 3 to 4 weeks early access to all reactions, which for the middle tier and above can include the full-length watch-along reactions. Those that subscribe to the highest tier will also be supporting my game and animation studio, Little Grim Entertainment. You'll have access to a sneak peek look at all of our upcoming games and animated shows.
You saw the hottie, yeah? Do you mean the E-rank? I sure did.
Oh man.
His body is ridiculous. He has an average face.
Getting jacked. Average face.
When did we admit a patient as ripped as that? Not ringing.
Some thirsty nurses, man.
Excuse me, Mr. Jinu-san.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I felt entirely, so please don't be.
He looks way different.
His muscles are incredible.
I wonder if Alex adjusted his voice for this bigger Jinwoo.
Thank you for everything.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Joining us today, we have a very special guest.
I'm Yunho Beck, and I run the White Tiger Guild.
As one of just 7 S-rank hunters in the entire country, I imagine your schedule stays pretty full, so I appreciate you fitting us in. Apart from talk show appearances and gate exploration, what exactly is a hunter's life like?
Busy, for sure. There's lots of training involved.
So you train every day. That must be exhausting.
In my case, no. Before I became a hunter, I was a firefighter, so staying in good shape was just routine. My comrades' lives were at stake. Not being at my best could mean the worst.
Okay, so have you been working out? You also look a lot taller, which is weird. Abs I can understand, but height? It's kinda cool. I guess that even guys in their 20s can grow.
Wow.
Hey. Don't forget an umbrella.
No, that's heavy, and it's so nice out.
Yeah, look up the word heavy when you get to class.
Oh, give me a break.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
He's such a good protective brother.
Bye, pushy.
Be careful out there. Man, I really am jacked. Stat boost. Speaking of, I've got some points to divvy up. Strength raises the damage I can do, but that's pretty useless if I can't land any hits.
Here you go. Now he's thinking.
But that can't go wrong with vitality either.
Yeah.
Perception has come in handy, but intellect seems magic related, so do I really need it?
Do you need intellect? Seems like a silly thing to say.
It looks good. But now that I'm able to slay goblins without almost dying, making rent shouldn't be too hard. Bottom line, if I want to earn good money, I have to go through higher ranked gates. Trouble with that is no sane person will let an E-rank hunter just cruise into those.
Fair.
Maybe I'll get reevaluated. A higher rank could let me access better gates and make some extra cash just from the publicity.
Yeah, but
Might get too much publicity.
yeah, I was gonna say, how would he explain that?
As newsworthy as it is, but a hunter who can level up and get stronger by the day, that's unheard.
All right, so he's being really cautious about it.
Until I have a solid grasp on this power.
I feel like it's gonna be really hard to hide at some point, though.
Hey there. The name's Don Kwan.
And mine's Chino-san.
E-rank, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, you're him! The dude that's, like, known for being horrible. If memory serves, you're called the weakest hunter of all mankind?
E-ranks can be laughably bad. Will that be an issue?
Not as far as I'm concerned. We need you to meet the quota, and that's more important than your rank. I told you over the phone, but you're mainly here for the head count since we need a minimum of 8 hunters to enter a C-rank dungeon. Half the party has to be C-rank too, but we've got that covered.
4 C-ranks and 2 sub-D ranks.
You'll be in charge of all in our bags. We've got food, spare clothing, gear. First aid kit's somewhere in there too.
First aid? There isn't a healer on this squad?
Uh-oh.
Independent parties like ours have a hard time retaining healers, as I'm sure you can imagine. We do all our raid.
Guess they did say they're in short supply right now. Money's money.
Recognize the party is not liable for anything that occurs inside the dungeon. Sure.
Hello there, fellow
Is that
Templars.
standard language?
My name's Jinho Yu. I'm a 21-year-old D-rank hunter, and I signed up as quota guy. just
My
like
wife
you.
is a lawyer, so
Say, a D rank with that.
I look at those contracts now. I'm like,
This one, baby.
that normal?
It's your first C rank raid ever? Don't you worry, I'll be there to keep you safe.
Some shiny gear.
Awesome.
Don't see gates this big very often.
We really don't, which makes me feel like it should be ranked higher. You know what I mean, boss?
The association folks said it was a C gate after checking it twice, and they're pretty thorough about that.
I wonder how they check it. They just have powerful dudes go in and go, yep, this is good.
Count, so I think we'll be just fine. When Mr. Huang
Yeah, maybe they can measure the magic somehow.
It's magic.
Okay,
We wouldn't
yeah.
even be allowed to raid it if it were B or higher.
Just pay attention, Jeff.
Dangerous dungeons.
So, an essence stone is the kind you recover from a magic beast. A mana stone is what you can mine from the dungeon itself. And then there's a glow stone that has a more practical use of lighting caves. Seems easy to mix them up.
Fish out of water character to explain this all to us.
We're dealing with insect types!
Insects?
Damn it! No wonder it's dark!
What do you see over there, boss?
Bunch of nothing, they're
Creepy.
hiding.
Don't tell me it's an ant colony! Great! Now you went and jinxed us!
Sound's getting closer.
Where the hell are they? Too many tunnels to choose! There!
Ooh. Are these similar to the ants we saw in the first episode?
Come get me!
Oh,
Got every creepy
you have a
corner
taunt?
straight for him.
A taunt skill. No
Yeah.
wonder he's C rank.
Hey! On your left, G-Suck!
Yeah, I got him. Have a piece of this!
Cooldown period.
Very nice! Now finish it! Oh, hell yeah!
Nice chemistry. They've obviously been working together for a long time. And you know, his fancy gear makes up for his lack of skill. But something feels off.
That the last one? Well?
Yeah, that was all of them. We're done here, you guys.
Then it's looting time! Those bugs about ambushed us. How were you able to tell they were attacking us from above?
Instinct.
Then your instincts are very sharp. We'd be dead.
Hey, boss, get a load of this! The wounds on these bugs.
No weapon of ours made those.
Exactly. And they're not burns for magic either.
Huh. What could be big enough to prey on these?
Did you see me slash that one bug down the middle?
Yeah.
Good job.
Your sword and all of your armor. Bet they weren't cheap.
You're right. They were a gift from my dad. He wanted to honor my first raid and all.
Well, just make sure
Trust fund kid is right.
they get the sense we'll need to.
Look suspicious of them.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa! Did a bomb just go off in our building?
Settle down. It's a standard occurrence here. It's just the guildmaster train.
Oh man. That powerful, huh? Wow.
That much damage from one hit?
That is a hole.
It must be hard lugging around all that stuff in this huge place. Really, bro, I don't mind helping you.
They're really not as heavy as you would think. I'm also getting paid without fighting magic beasts, which is a pretty sweet deal.
There's a boss in here somewhere. There's gotta be.
A gate wouldn't
Makes
have opened if
sense.
there wasn't. Hang on. Q1, light the way ahead.
Sure.
Oh, a spider. Spider boss.
That definitely leads to the boss chamber. Stay alert.
My wife would not have any of this. She's deathly afraid of spiders.
No way.
Look at all of these mana crystals. They're just so beautiful.
They aren't worth as much as essence stones. With this haul, it's gotta be worth billions, if not more.
Wow.
You know, boss, I bet even your brother would be jealous of a find like this.
Dude, shut up. Why did you have to bring up the boss's brother, huh? Not cool.
Don't
Touchy
say
subject.
what I tell you. You don't always get to be the one who's right. Better not expect your big brother to bow down to you now.
Excuse me, Mr. Huang, sir? According to Jinu's contract, he should be in on this. Battle drops are the only thing he doesn't get a share of. Since mana crystals are excavated as opposed to being dropped by beasts, shouldn't this particular find...
Good guy. What a good guy.
Of course, let's split it all evenly. Fair is fair, after all.
Seems
But
too
first,
easy.
There's some company we should see to.
Ah! The dungeon boss!
In case
Oh.
you didn't know, rookie, the gate will close once that thing dies. So, where's the gear?
I mean, I wasn't expecting there to be a treasure trove of mana crystals. I left all of the transport and mining tools back with my ride.
Told you, don't I always say be prepared for anything?
I'm really sorry.
Oops.
It can't be helped now. Why don't you two stay here for a bit and protect our prize? We'll go get the mining
Look,
equipment.
stay here! This is the boss's lair! We have the lowest ranks!
You'll be just fine. This is your first raid, yet you think you know better. Jinu's in the same boat since this is his first C rank.
Little suspicious.
Have a little faith, will ya? All right. Go ahead and seal off the entrance.
Oh man, I knew it. Oh shit. So they just needed him to get in.
Considering the timing, I think they just betrayed us.
I knew it. Those bastards.
In a hunter's line of work, you run into some real crooks. Our job will always have some risk. Mistakes and accidents are bound to happen. But since those accidents occur inside gates, it's easy for anyone with ill intent to commit a crime and then never see their offense come to light.
They're really trying to kill us. All because they want more lousy mana crystals? If I hadn't brought up that stupid contract, then maybe we'd...
No. We were in their trap. We were ready to strike us down.
Yeah. Well, this was their plan the whole time, probably.
Importantly.
Jinu, I said I would
Uh-oh.
protect you, so that's what I'll do. Somehow I'll manage.
We could get out from there.
Good guy.
But I bet they thought of that too. A C-rank boss. An E-rank hunter. Chino, don't move. I'm gonna fight this thing.
Wait, you mean like fight?
That was cool.
I mean, this one's mine.
Oh man. Oh, come on. Alright, guys, so we just finished solo leveling episode 5, and it was cool. It was an interesting one. There definitely seems to be a lot to this world, all sorts of different characters and people. These guys seemed relatively decent starting out. I don't know why the contract had me weirded out when they specifically pointed out the fact that anything that happens inside this dungeon is the party's not liable for. So that's a little red flag right away, right off the bat. The fact that they pointed that out meant that it had something to do with what might happen later on in the episode. So I was already kind of weary about it going in, but as they progressed through that dungeon, it started to become pretty clear that these guys were up to something, and it's what Jinwoo was picking up on, the fact that they never have a healer, the fact that they're always 6, and they end up in these dungeons that have to have 8, so where are all these other people that they're going in with? And they said if something happens in a dungeon, there's no proof, but if this is a continuous thing that they do, if 6 of them come out, or I'm sorry, 8 of them go in, and then only 6 of them, the same 6 come out, and the others die every single time, you begin to question that, right? Like, I don't know, the Hunter's Guild might be like, hey, what's going on here, guys? I would probably imagine they would do an investigation or maybe even send a secret, quote-unquote, low-level hunter in with them that's maybe like an S rank to flush out what's actually happening and then deal with the situation that arises. Anyways, that's kind of what I would imagine would happen if they did this too often, but maybe they're really good at covering their tracks. Who knows? So we were also introduced to this young kid, Jinho, I guess is his name. I had to look it up, but man, they just don't make Jinwoo, Ju-hee, and Jinho so far are some of the characters that we've had in this show, so they don't make it easy on you. Yeah, Jinho seems to be this trust fund kid who got all this fancy gear from his dad and is in this raid as a newbie. He's never done it before, but he's only stronger because of the fact that he has this gear. I forgot what they said his rank was, but I think it wasn't E. It might have been D, maybe. So he was slightly higher than what Jinwoo was. I don't think what he is now. But yeah, so he is a trust fund kid, clearly, but he doesn't seem to be a bad kid, which sort of breaks that stereotype, right? Because normally the trust fund kids are the ones that are really selfish seeming normally and kind of snakes usually, but this one seems to be actually a good guy. He actually cared about Jinwoo carrying all the bags. He kept asking and insisting that he would help if Jinwoo needed it. He also was the one that brought up the fact that Jinwoo should be in on the contract with those mana crystals and splitting the loot that way. So overall, he just seems like a really decent guy. But of course, unfortunately for him and Jinwoo, their little party had different plans and trapped them inside the boss room with this big, massive spider boss that is just waiting to tear them apart. And as for Jinwoo, it was really interesting to see him at the beginning. I wasn't expecting that much of a change that quickly. I would be pretty suspicious of that. His sister seemed pretty suspicious of it, but I guess she just chalked it up to a growth spurt or something like that. I don't know. Even in the hospital, you would think doctors would question the fact that he's gained so much strength and height so fast, right? Like they would know that that's not normal for a human body to go through. But man, that hospital had some thirsty nurses. Oh boy, they were all over him. One even asked for his number at the end. And it's so funny because he just took it as, oh, she must need it for paperwork or something. Or in case they need to call me back for follow-ups. He's just not used to women hitting on him, apparently. But it does confirm that this thing not only affects his strength, but his physical appearance as well. So who knows what's going to happen as he continues to level up all these different stats. And he finally started to branch out, spread out the love a little bit, not just strength. He threw some in agility. He recognized the fact that all the other ones are actually worth something, except for intelligence. He decided, I don't need that. It seems magic-based, which makes sense. In video games, intelligence is usually equivalent to like mana or something like that, increasing your mana for doing magic damage. But it does make me wonder what the association is in this world with intelligence, and if he actually put some points in there, what would happen. Now, the perception skill seems really, really useful as well. He can sense things right away. He can see where the bosses are, where the enemies are. You can even read other hunters and tell what level they are. And that seems extremely useful in a world like this. But other than that, this was a very low-key episode. There wasn't a whole lot of action and fighting, aside from fighting off those ants. It seems to be building up to the next episode, I'm sure, which will get this battle between Jinwoo and this massive spider. Maybe, I don't know what's going to happen when those guys realize, I'm assuming Jinwoo won't die. And hopefully he'll protect that Jin-ho character and save his life as well. And so I'm curious to see what the plan was with the other group. Are they coming back for these mana crystals? And if they do, what were they going to do? Were they going to kill the boss and then take the mana crystals? Because they could have just done that anyways. I don't know why they didn't. Well, maybe because they wanted to trap. I guess they wanted the monster to take care of Jinwoo and Jin-ho for them so that they could just get the loot and then bail. But of course, I'm sure they're going to come back to that not being the case, and it'll be interesting to see what happens then, because that means one of them defeated the boss and secrets might come out. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens when they get to that point. But guys, that's all I got for this episode. It was a really fun one. Curious to know what you guys thought about it in the comments. When you watched this episode, were you also really suspicious of those guys before obviously the big reveal? Did you think something was odd and up with them? Did you notice anything about the contract, the fact that they pointed that out at the beginning? Because that was a big red flag for me. Yeah, just really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this episode. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Also check out my Patreon page. A lot of great perks up there for you guys. And we'll see you guys in the next reaction.